Let me tell you a little bit about this character I made up. The Great Western Manors are my favorite class of steam locomotive. They were the ones that got me interested in the impressive combination of light and strong, which led to my fondness for the Q1s, the 7Fs, and the Montsalans. The U-boat's overrated. I guess the B-12s would be in there as well, and I do find it significant that Thompson opted to retain them for his standardization plan due to their light axle loading. You know at a glance that a Manor is small for a 10-wheeler, but things like the low running plate and wheel splashers might not suggest it weighs less than 70 tons. Hell, imagine if the running plate was rebuilt to hover above the wheels, bring the weight down even more, and not sacrifice an ounce of strength. And suppose it had bullied Firth Brown wheels made, or better yet, Australian scope wheels. Also, how many other 460 tender engines look right and natural on a preserved single-track backwater line? The Manors, to me, are the greatest middle-of-the-road steam engine. So when I started that vent project, the XS Express, my character had to be a Manor. I thought it would be a good idea to adopt the guise of a steam loco that wasn't preserved, and make believe it had survived beyond the 60s. I settled on number 7805 Broom Manor, as it was the only model I could get my hands on, and I thought it'd be kind of funny if it were nicknamed BM. Also, someone in the comments of my video advertising the XS Express said, "Broom Manor is going to sweep away the unnecessary engines." That kinda impressed me. Sadly, around the time I was about to write Neville's edition, I got all bummed out because Neville's a shit character, but the Q1s are wonderful. And looking back, I was too generous. I let Diesel 10 live, for Christ's sakes. He'd make a decent Jack in the Pack villain maybe, but in Thomas, out of the question. Then when I decided to give discussing whatever Thomas and railway related topic I felt like a try, I went with another lost member of the Manor class. The first Manor to be withdrawn and scrapped, number 7809 Childry Manor, was broken up at Swindon Works, and the rest were sent to scrapyards and chopped up. Engines that were sent to where they'd been built in the first place were simply dismantled. So my character Childry Manor was snapped up by some preservationist who acquired his parts as he was broken up, and brought them along when she emigrated to Canada. Putting Childry Manor back together in southern Ontario was her retirement project. This preservationist was loosely based on my old babysitter, who was British. Childry Manor slowly but surely came together. He was in enough of one piece to regain sentience in 1991, the year I was born. And he had no memories from before he was broken up at Swindon Works, hence why we'd get no first-hand accounts of working life from him, and it explains the Canadian accent. If I had to choose a Canadian steam loco to be my loco sona, I guess I'd settle for one of these. This was a contractor's logo from the 20s. I am fond of narrow gauge, and this 2-foot gauge one is the smallest Canadian one I can find. Not sure what I'd name him, though. But I'm not as fond of North American steam locos. I consider them big, bombastic, lumbering dinosaurs. Hence why I made an excuse for a British loco having a Canadian accent. Next time I'll talk about North British locos. In the meantime, here are Broom Manor and Winter Squash simmering at a platform at a large terminus.